stops them. So those types of rules, when you look at the beginning of the universe, there had to be something that caused it to happen, that caused it to start. Otherwise, it would be at that thermodynamically steady state. But something caused it. So there had to be something outside of the universe. It also had to be something that could make a choice to actually cause it to start. Those things that have the ability to make choices, or a choice, make a volitional choice, that is the concept of a person, a mind, an intelligence, a choice being made. You know, rocks don't make choices. Animals can make choices. They have a volition. They are a personal entity, a being. But plants and rocks, inanimate objects, don't have that capability. They can't choose to get something started. So whatever it was is outside the universe. It can make a choice, and it transcends space and time, because all of space and time begin at that bang, right? That's all that we know about space and time. It defined from that, and that is space and time as we know it. So it's something that's even outside of that caused this to happen. And if there is something that caused it, there's no reason to think that that causer is not still in existence. And in fact, these things point rather strongly to the possibility of there being a God. Because if you look at the definition of these things, you know, outside of space and time, personal, having the ability to make decisions, and can cause this thing to explode, that would be similar to some of the properties that we would talk about when we're talking about God. Now, what's these notions started people as they began to think about them. It caused them to think that, you know, maybe there's more to life than what I had first thought. So, for instance, my physics professor, when he studied the Big Bang, being an atheist, he determined there must be a causer of the bang. And if there is a causer of the bang, he went through all of these steps logically, said, well, what could it have been? And he deduced, and he came to the point, ultimately, of believing that there had to be a God, and as he investigated what God it could have been, he determined, well, he came to believe in Christ Jesus, and I don't remember all of his path of getting there, but he came to trust in Christ Jesus because of the Big Bang, because it points logically to that, to there being a God. So this whole idea then of looking at things in nature and in the universe and them pointing to something beyond random chance recently has led to this idea of intelligent design. And so the thought is like this: if you go into a cave and you see a drawing on the wall of a buffalo, people don't go, hey, what amazing forces of nature caused that buffalo to be formed on the wall, right? You say, oh, this was an early cave drawing, and no secular scientist ever even proposes that that was done by, you know, just random chance over years. So why not? Why wouldn't they propose that? Any thoughts about why you wouldn't propose that a painting of a buffalo on a cave wall didn't happen by random chance?
We can draw buffaloes.
Okay, we can draw buffaloes. Okay. Okay, so one, there is a known mechanism of what could do it. Okay?
It resembles something else.
Okay. It resembles something else. Okay.
There's no reason for it to be like in existence on its own, like because like something like that it's ordered and it's representing something.
Okay. Okay. There's something in there. Those words. It's ordered, and it's complex, right? So there's these thresholds of which things that are ordered and complex, you get to a point and the natural inclination is that was not just a product of random chance, but there had to have been someone with intelligence who did that, right? So as we look now at some of these next items, these are things that point in this direction. In fact, as you look at the current state of science in the realms of cosmology, astrophysics, paleontology, biochemistry, biology, all of these things, all of them have major indicators that are pointing in this direction of intelligent design. And it's not, this whole concept of intelligent design often scientists nowadays try to throw it out as, oh, that's religion. So that's how it typically gets cast. But many of the people who started this and started down the road and did some of these foundational works were either agnostic, or in other words, they didn't believe in God, they weren't sure if God even exists. This guy named Michael Denton, he wrote a book exposing his was something like, I can't remember the name of his book. It was something like something about Darwin relating to the fossils, but basically the foundation is shaking. It's a oh, that's what it was, a theory in crisis. Darwinism, a theory in crisis. So, and he is a total agnostic, doesn't believe in God, but as he looked at these various things, it's like, this just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. And so as people have been looking at this, there's such huge, solid evidences that take you to that point of, it's kind of like, this is a cave drawing. It's not just something that could have happened. Now, could it happen by random chance? Sure. It could absolutely happen by random chance. There could have been an earthquake and some red rock, went up and did the back. And then sometime later, maybe bubbled out of a stream and, got the legs in there and the head and the horns. Is it highly unlikely? Yes, very highly unlikely. But is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible, given enough time and all of the right circumstances. But nobody thinks that that's how it was formed. But when you take that same just impossible situation and you apply that to biology, then it's like, oh, it must have happened that way. So let's take a look now at some of the evidences of biochemistry. And there's a man by the name of Michael Behe. I believe he's a Roman Catholic. So he is a believer in Christ,